Okay, so this is about, we're going to talk about content marketing trends. Content marketing is going to get really crazy. That is what we have found out from the earlier presentations in the morning also. A recent study by Microsoft Corp mentioned that human can no longer boast of 12 seconds of coherent thought. And the online user attention span has fallen below 8 seconds. It also found that users are more easily distracted by multiple streams of data. Now that's creating a serious problem for the content marketers. You don't get your point across quickly and you have lost it in less than 8 seconds. But it also, I think, presents an opportunity for the content marketers to innovate their storytelling. So what's new in content marketing? So we're going to talk about what are the new trends and how the marketers basically, I'll ask these questions to the 4 panelists here, that how they are adapting these trends into their content marketing strategies. The first the content marketing trend which everyone is talking about is mobile first will become the norm. So Sudip, I would like to ask you that how your organization is adapting this trend into your marketing strategies. What are you doing around this?
Okay. Can everybody hear me? My mic is working? So for people who don't know, I represent an organization which is the biggest luggage manufacturing company of India. We are the only place where Samsonite is half the size. Samsonite is a global leader. Trails everywhere, it's a market leader everywhere else except for India. And it's half the size. So you can understand the size of business that we have about 6 brands. The first and foremost thing that we realized when we were building up the websites, primarily so out of the 6, not all of them are digital because 2 of them are value brands. And I firmly believe that not all brands have to get into the bandwagon of digital if your consumers are not there. So of the 4 brands, the first and foremost thing is we made it adaptable to mobile phones, because most of the websites, they first build it for computers, and then they realize, oh, it's not working on mobile phones, and therefore they bring it. We first made it for mobile phone, and then we expanded it for the regular laptops. And with e-com the way it is going, with companies who are only operating out of mobile, I guess that's the way to go, because my driver, for instance, never used computers ever in his life, but he keeps buying stuff through his phone. So phone is the most important device that the consumer has. You don't need to be a very literate person to experience internet and digital if you have a good phone.
Okay, that's great. Anybody else would like to say anything on mobile first, basically any strategy they have adopted around mobile for their organization?
Okay, can you hear me? I represent a regional magazine group, and that's about 66 years of age. So it's a pretty old magazine. It's in regional language mainly. It's in Gujarati, Marathi, and we have some English magazines as well. But what we realized that my personal realization is content actually is the key, because I think if you see the digital world, it's a level playing field. All these things what we talk about, 8 seconds, whether video is important, whether we should have infographics, images, those are all helping, I would say, consumer interaction. But if your content is strong, it will surface somewhere, because if you have a very strong breaking content, it will come out in all formats, whether it's 8 seconds. There are lots of publications who were very strong, not very strong in the print format. Today have suddenly become very strong players in the digital era because their content is very powerful. So they're surfacing through different formats, like on mobile, on every single format, because in social, I think our experiences is you should stick to what your core is and you should do best possible thing within that core. And I think consumers will find you, rather than trying to do what others are doing and fail miserably at it.
Okay, so your point is find your core. So what you are good at, you keep on doing that.
Yes, because what works for us doesn't work for others. Right? So for example, even if you see the social, you have seen a lot of individual influencers or companies who have taken very clear stance that this works, and they continuously hammer on that point to drive home loyalty. So I think what works for us does not work for someone else, and we should know quickly what works. And then obviously mobile is something which is taking the lead, but there is a problem with mobile. If you actually look at it, it's about, just to give you the size, it's about 45,000 crores is the overall ad market. In that, the digital is about 9.5%, which makes it about 4,000 crores. Mobile is just about 550 crores. Whereas if you see 354 million, which is your overall users, online users, 62% are coming from mobile. So there is definitely a huge lag mobile has in terms of revenues versus usership. And I think that's not a very easy challenge. It's a huge challenge to bridge, because it's not very easy. Mobile is very personal. There are a lot of stuff which you can't do on mobile. Otherwise, you should actually, even if you see the trends in US, you see 24% of the audience is on mobile, and 8% is just the mobile revenue share. So actually, there's a huge lag worldwide, usership to revenues earned. So I think mobile, yes, it's the future. Yes, it's the fastest growing. But how do marketers, how do content marketers, product marketers, how do they actually capitalize on that? To get to that user percentage is a very tough challenge.
I'll answer, yeah, because we made it easy. I work at Ixigo, and we've made content marketing a growth hack. So just to add on to that, 8 seconds is the attention span we have right now. That means every 8 seconds, something happens in your environment that takes your attention away. I have 20 apps on my phone which can take my attention away, anytime. And the mobile numbers in this country are skyrocketing. Honestly, this is the best time to be in India right now. I've lived in Canada, I've worked for the West, outsourcing, blah, 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 for a long time. But this is the time where I'm happy to be in India, because we're making apps for Indians, by Indians, and this is the best time ever. And the mobile numbers are skyrocketing. So a little learning, which we made a lot of videos in the last 1 year, and a lot of them went viral back to back. The headlights are in my face. I'm already trembling. So the videos, they were going viral and all. I mean, especially on the mobile screens. So our audience is, people who are watching videos on this big screen. No TV, no video, no production quality, which requires that kind of budgets. So that's what we focus on. And 3 weeks back, we had a breakthrough. We've had many videos which hit million, a couple of millions. But 3 weeks back, we launched a video which was just an innocent little experiment. Because only experiments which work well become best practices for us. And that video hit 50 million views yesterday. And it's not even a month. But what it did was, it's not just that, fancy views. It skyrocketed the app installs for Ixigo, which we never realized was possible. So that's, to me, I'm happy to connect the dots. So I think mobile, now it's not just about making videos, like in content marketing, but making videos for the mobile generation. Because the key learnings are like Vine and Instagram, when they started in India, they were not really popular. They never caught on as Facebook and WhatsApp right now. But the square format of the videos, in simple terms, right? Not the standard video which you watch. The square format of Vine and Instagram, it is so native to mobile screens that on Facebook, users don't have to tilt their screens. It's just native to that. And we just, focusing on building videos on that, because from the learnings of the 50 million one, we had Republic Day coming in. So we were newsjacking it, topical content, and Bharat Mata Ki Jai, we got a million in 3 days, right? Because we've executed the same strategies. So I think mobile is, I beg to differ, it's the best time to have, mobile strategy.
So like Mitrajit said, that what may work for you may not work for others. So you are saying that video has worked for Ixigo very well, the video content marketing.
Sorry.
Video works for everybody. Everybody loves it. Between a picture and a video, you'll always love a video. That's given. Whether it's on mobile, on television, you put a static picture on television or you put a video on television, obviously you like video. So video works. It's what you show in the video is very important.
Is very important. So Sumeli, would you like to say something on this?
I'm from MTV. Am I audible to everyone? Yeah. Okay. So I'm from MTV, and we are in business of making content. Actually, that's the bread and butter. If that doesn't exist, then we don't exist. If you actually look at MTV, TV is a part of our life and our name, and M stands for music and mobile. So when we look at mobile, it's very different because TV is a family space and mobile is a very personal space. It might be the same content when you watch it on mobile, it's a very personal experience. So whether it's a video, whether it's a social interaction, whether it's a Vine, whether it's any of the platform, it's the interaction and the user experience that really matters more. So can I interact with a video? Can I actually share it? Can I put in my 2 comments and share it? That becomes very, very important. So I'm going to take a very recent example of we did something for Swachh Bharat. It's called Dunk That Junk is an activity that we did, where we were gamifying how you can take litter to the litter bin, which is garbage box. It's something that we did on social media, which is basically gamifying, take a trash ball and see how you can actually aim at the garbage bin and drop it. It's a very simple, very silly game, but with a very strong message, and we got a lot of Bollywood and music and a lot of celebrities to endorse it and do it. So it was not really A-list challenge because we were not challenging anybody. It's just gamifying the whole concept of keep it clean and ensure that the garbage goes to the litter bin. But the point was that the videos were simple. They were not very complicated, with high participation for anybody who can record it and put it up. And that's what mobile really does to you. It increases the interactivity so much that no other screen can do. And that is where it becomes very important. But also to say what Mitrajit was saying, it cannot function by itself. So it cannot be only a mobile strategy. It has to be complemented with the other screens. And also offline, more than anything, live interaction or offline interaction. Because for us, that whole connected storytelling becomes the key for us to drive any engagement with youngsters. The benefit of being at MTV is youngsters are early adopters. So for us, it's just a natural home. I mean, mobile strategy is a natural extension, or it's a requirement that we have. We don't have a luxury of saying that are we present on mobile or not. Bigger question, again, as Aashish was saying, is monetization. While mobile is a media or a platform that will have to be present, it's a strategy that has to be a part of our strategy. Monetization becomes really key. Are we really deriving so much of revenue back from mobile and the apps? Because the bigger thing is getting to use the apps again and again. You can install apps, that's easy because that's that first push that goes. But will a consumer open it on a daily basis and interact? And why would that guy do? I mean, we know that. Andy talked about the fact that a consumer does not want to interact with more than 5 brands and passively follow possibly 11 or 12 that we talked about. And that's true. I mean, we are in a generation where they are actually unfriending rather than friending, right? They are unfollowing. We need to give them a very strong reason for them to follow. Being in a media space, it's easier because we can talk about life and events in general. Being a product brand just becomes that much difficult because you are restricted by the fact that you need to talk about your product or service. So,
no, actually not. Yeah. So I'll give an example. We have a brand called Caprese, which is a ladies' handbag brand. If you go to our social media page or if you go to our, we don't talk about bags. We only talk about women. Because you start talking about brands, nobody wants. You talk about the social, the problems that women face. We talk about beauty. We talk about everything else apart from bags. Because the moment you talk bags, people will just not get into it. The only, when we sell, so we are selling bags, and it's one of the most boring categories I've ever worked on. But what we do for Sky bags, for instance, we talk about style, we talk about sports, we talk about anything but bags. Once in a while we put in a bag. The idea is to get people involved with your brand so much that when they go to buy the category, hope and pray that they'll go and buy your brand. As simple as that.
Okay.
I think we should have met earlier because we made a video last year which was about bags because travel is in our DNA, right?
Yeah.
So it was about what Indian students pack in their bags when they go abroad.
Yeah, that was very
Let's
interesting
meet
video.
after this.
Yeah, so they were like cooker, jhadu, whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the crazy stuff Indian students pack, so perhaps we'll do a version 2.
I think your that case study won at DMAi Awards too last year. Yeah, that's great. So that's great. So I'm moving to the next trend. We have been like very heavily targeting our marketing strategy towards Facebook. But now the trend is that Facebook will dominate. However, their audience will be much older. So the new generation is moving away from Facebook. They are adopting other new social media websites like Instagram or WeChat. So what are how do you basically think of shifting your focus of not only on Facebook but moving to these new social media sites too? So Mitrajit, would you like to say anything about that?
See, our experience is that as much as you plan, you also have to consumers and readers also make you do certain things. You are reactive at some point of time. Say, for example, we have over 1 million Facebook fans, but that some other publications may have as well. But the point is, we have huge engagement scores, sometimes over 30%, 35%. So we find Facebook extremely suitable for the content for a Gujarati magazine. And just to give you some examples, sometimes a simple quote which we put in the morning gets about 30,000, 35,000 likes within hours and 8,000, 9,000 shares. Now, that's what I was trying to talk about, that if you talk about MTV, the reason MTV will be in top 5, if it has to be, is because of the content. If the music is good, like MTV Unplugged, I will watch it. I will watch it on my phone if that's convenient. I'll watch it on my iPad. I'll watch it whichever is a convenient medium to watch on. So I think it finally, it drives down everything is how good is your content, what you're doing, what you're delivering, who's your target audience, what works for you. Yes, there are certain giveaways which are very clear, like video works. The more you put in image format, it's easier. Just to give you an example, Oscar nominations this time when it happened, all the sites started putting up the nominees, best director, best film. What one of the major sites did was they created this templates in graphic form. They had kept it ready, obviously. So they started hitting with those. So you don't even have to go into the link to see. You can just see it in a graphic image. So what happens, these are smaller issues which you can learn overnight and do it. But I think your core will remain content and how good you are at it.
So Aashish, would you like to say that how you are, reaching out to your customers through Instagram and WeChat, these new websites?
I don't quite agree with this fact, to be honest, because like an entire generation of people in India are getting on mobile the first time. Entire generation completely skipped the desktop era and experiencing internet for the first time on their mobile devices. Like my mom is on Facebook and Facebook and WhatsApp so much, I worry it'll break Facebook and WhatsApp, right? And that generation has never used a desktop like I did, right? And so the whole idea that people are moving away from Facebook, it might be a US-centric data, or at least, the Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad data, but I think the tier 1, tier 2 cities, that's where the real game is. And they're on WhatsApp, they're on Facebook, they're experiencing Facebook for the first time. So I think we're getting a lot of exponential numbers focusing and making content for that audiences. And I agree 100% that the quality of content is very important because there's so much chaos. There's so much, the news feeds are so chaotic. The 8 seconds next year will be 5 seconds. Human attention span is 8 seconds. Goldfish is 9 seconds. Freaking goldfish. Right? So I think, the quality of content is important because that brings, you have to the loyalty is earned that when they're expecting the next video to come up or the next content to come up. I see this a lot that, the goal for email marketing, like the oldest form of marketing, should be that the customers or the users should wait that your email hasn't come. That should be the tall order we should strive for, I think. Because, you know, like I get mail from banks, what do you like best about our services? Credit card, debit card. I'm like, am I waiting for it? Like, bank se update nahi aaya, right? So I think quality of content is important, and Facebook still is, there's a long way to go.
Okay, so Sumeli, your brand reaches out to a very young generation
entire
audience.
new audience,
Yeah.
so-
So I just wanted to also share with you, in fact, last week when I was talking with Sean Gardner about Instagram and Facebook, and he said very interesting thing that Facebook is like an old sweater. All the younger generation is now, they like to interact with with each other on Instagram and WeChat. But yeah, it's the Facebook is old sweater, so they come back. So they come back to wear that old sweater.
But it's not, people are experiencing for the first time. It's not going away. I think, like, I'm focusing this year on Instagram and WhatsApp. Instagram because Facebook has just released Instagram ads. So the rates are really low for native ads. So here's a tip. So you'll get a lot of app installs from that. So, but WhatsApp. Like, I really want Facebook to give us some data, some insight, some analytics about WhatsApp, because I still get a call, you know, once every few weeks that somebody's mother, sister-in-law, sister saw this video. I'm like, I have no way to track it, right? So I think I'm placing my bets on WhatsApp and Instagram this year. Okay. Not so much like WeChat or Snapchat is, we're not ready for it. I mean, I'm not ready for it.
Okay, so Sumeli?
For us, in fact, yeah, nobody talked about Snapchat. Snapchat is really growing for us the way, because for us the audience is youngsters, right? So it's slightly different profile from, you know, overall. You're right, Facebook, I don't think we'll see people exiting, but a lot of youngsters are spending lesser time and lesser interactions on Facebook. So the point is not about saying, do we adopt a strategy for Snapchat or Facebook? The way we look at it, we need to have presence across all the media which is available. So therefore, also when you talk about mobile or digital, it's a multiplicity of many media, and each of them work very differently. So what you put on Snapchat will be very different from what you put up on a Twitter or a Insta or a Vine. So for example, if you do a dub smash video, we have a big property called MTV Insider, which runs on Insta, and it only runs on Insta. So a Facebook feed will be just routing the person to Insta. Or I mean, if I take a example of, say, a Coke studio, what you see on Snapchat will be very different from what you see on Vine and what you see on Facebook and what you see on website. So it's about connecting and doing this interaction across the, across this whole platform of different digital media rather than one. And again, as I said, that for us, it's not an option of saying, will we be present on Insta or will we be present on Snapchat? If it is coming up, we need to be there. That's as simple as that. Something as recent as yesterday, Viacom and Snapchat has closed a big deal on monetization on ads on Snapchat. And that's very interesting because, again, it comes back to saying how much can you actually monetize and how much of revenue that you can derive from each of these different media, because, you know, at the end of it, everything boils down to, are you really making dollars out of it? Because if it's not, then content marketing is a huge investment. I mean, you know, that's, I think, every time we meet a brand or a sponsor and we continuously tell them that it's not a one-time spike. A Coke studio wouldn't have been a Coke studio if it wouldn't have run for 4 seasons. It's only second season when it started building up the spike and the attraction back from the audience, and when audience waits to see you know, what's coming up back from, again, taking a leaf from what Aashish had been saying. So that's a bigger thing, and interaction and what kind of interaction you're driving on each media is, again, the other thing. For example, Twitter to me is a real-time feed, so I can do a Twitter town hall and I can get a lot of people to interact with each other. So when we did Rock the Vote, for example, last year, we got a whole roster of politician, national spokesperson from each of the top political parties to interact with the audience. I couldn't have done that on a Facebook. I couldn't have done that on any other portal apart from a Twitter, the kind of interaction I could get. Similarly, for Facebook, it allows me, so a lot of people might not be interacting immediately, but it shows up on the newsfeed throughout. So again, I would be using Facebook for that. So it's a mix of all the platforms together that helps us survive in this truly attention deficit economy, actually.
Yeah. So Sudip, what would you like to say about this?
Well, I totally agree with Aashish, and I've been, in fact, one of the things that I said is, people said television will go out of fashion, nobody will watch television, we still watch television. It's too early to ask that question. I don't think Facebook will, it'll be there for at least
Facebook will stay, but
stay.
what about how you are reaching out to your audience through Instagram
yeah.
and other?
So, but as I said, you know, each of these mediums have very different, at least for us. For instance, Twitter for us is a medium where we manage our customer complaints. Today, most of the customers have started using Twitter to complain about, or say which they don't like about it, and it's so fast that if we don't manage it well, we are in a soup. So Twitter, we manage it and we invest, trying to see whether it's any negative is happening on our brands or not. As far as the Facebook is concerned, as I said, it is going to be there, and I don't think it's going out of fashion for next at least couple of years. 5 years down the line, what will happen, we don't know. When it comes, we'll figure it out. But Instagram, yes, and I quite agree with the panelist here that the younger the brand is, so for instance, for a Skybag, I would probably do it, but for a Carlton, I will not do it. It depends. Again, I keep repeating this wherever I speak. You don't have to get into digital just because everybody is getting into digital. If you're selling tractor, for heaven's sake, sell tractors the way it should be sold.
On WhatsApp.
And if I am selling Alpha, which is a very mass price-led brand, I would not like to have it. But for a brand like Skybag, for a brand like Caprese, I definitely use a lot of Instagram. For a brand like Carlton, I still would prefer to stick with Facebook.
Okay, I just want to add something. While we talked about how age makes a huge difference, and the youngsters are using the whole roster of different media that is available on social. It's also the kind or the profile of people. So the profile of people on a Snapchat or profile of people on Insta are very different from profile of people on, I'm seeing large profile of people on Facebook. So it's also very important to see where you want to break the news and how you want to take it forward. Snapchat and then take it forward to a Twitter and a Facebook, because that also helps us drive the buzz around it, because few people get it, they like to talk about it, they like to show off, because again what's happening is social is not, when you talk about content, it's not just a currency right now, it's actually something that helps me to develop my identity and project myself, because what I'm talking, it's coming from all the content that I'm seeing, whether it's a show, whether it's a music piece, whether it's a particular meme that has gotten released. So that, tying up that together will also help all of us.
And one thing which honestly I'm focusing on for this year, because there's so many platforms and like this one works for this one doesn't work for that one. But like the way I look at it is that like I operate content marketing for Ixigo like a movie studio, that we make 10 movies and 2 will be super hit, right? Because the culture of experimentation, the culture of brainstorming, regularly creativity, because like when A.R. Rahman won the Oscar, that was not the best song A.R. Rahman has produced, right? But he was creative consistently. So I think, keep doing experiments, and you don't know which one will surprise you on Snapchat, WhatsApp, or Facebook.